And then
Karen and Richard are students in middle school. Like many children and adults, they believe, incorrectly, that our eyes can see, even in a room that is totally dark.
This is a room with like lead walls, 3 feet thick. And it's like down a mine shaft. You know, it's like there's no way light can get into it. There are no windows and doors. Somehow we made this room around you. We're going to let you out. There's plenty of air. You're okay on there. Doing this experiment. Okay, absolutely dark.
Okay.
Can you see after 5 or 6 minutes? Can you still see the apple?
You can see it, but it wouldn't be red. It wouldn't have a color. It would just be gray or like a lighter shade of black than the rest of the table.
No light gets into this room in any possible way. What do you see?
I'd still be able to see the apple just because it's like lighter than the rest of the room because it's a different color than black. It would be red and I'd be able to see it better.
Karen and Richard believe that in a totally dark room, objects lose their color but remain visible in shape. Although in darkness, the eye adjusts so it can detect even the faintest amount of light. In a room with no light whatsoever, there is nothing for our eyes to detect and we cannot see.
I suppose one reason people don't think you need light in order to see is that we're rarely ever in a situation when we don't have light around. I mean, we can always see, can't we, essentially? There's always some light there. We don't know what it's like to be in a totally dark environment.
The room Karen and Richard are in has been specially prepared so that when the lights are shut off, it will be absolutely dark.
Have you ever been in a completely dark room?
Yeah.
Well, tell me about that.
Well, it's just like it's completely dark, and then in a little while, like if you're with other people, then it's completely dark, and then in a little while you can like start to see their shape, but you can't see them. You can just see their like shape.
Yeah. Where were you in a completely dark room?
Well, it's been like a couple times, like whenever there's a power outage, or if you turn off the light before you go to bed, when like all the windows are closed or whatever, shades are down.
Have you ever been in a completely dark room?
Mm-hmm.
Where was that? Tell me about it.
Sometimes when I was younger we used to play flashlight tag and you'd have to turn all the lights off in the house and go down and hide somewhere. So I'd go down in the basement and just hide down there. And I wouldn't be able to see anything, but after a while I'd be able to make out what I was looking at.
I think very few people have actually been in a very dark room. I know that if when I go into a photographic darkroom and it is really dark, it's a totally different experience from being in my bedroom at night when it's dark. Because there's always some light, some very low level, but there's something there.
Well, would it be possible for you or for somebody to make a room that you couldn't see in?
No, I don't think so. Because your pupils can always adjust. So you can see a little better than like when you first, because your pupils get bigger. So like if we were to go completely black now, then we wouldn't be able to see very well, but in like 5 minutes we'd be able to see a little better. But we wouldn't be able to see perfectly. You know what I'm saying?
I think I do.
Now, let's shut the lights and prove to Karen once and for all that without light she cannot see.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
I can't see anything right now. It's completely dark.
Okay. Can you see the apple?
No, not yet.
Are you sure you're looking where the apple is?
I have no idea.
Can you hold your hand up in front of your face and see if you can see that?
No, not yet.
Now, how long do you think we've been in the dark so far?
Minute.
So how much longer before you can start seeing things?
I think about like 4 or 5 more minutes. Something like that.
Why is it impossible to make a room where you can't see anything?
Well, because no matter what, your eyes will always be able to adjust. Like moles live under the earth and they can see, but they can't see in the light.
You said before something about how you know this stuff. Can you tell me how you know what you're telling me?
Well, about the light and stuff, it's just like when you're in a dark room, it's like obvious for you to know that in a few minutes you'll be able to see better than you were when the lights first went out. Like, that's given from experience. And plus we've done experiments in school, like watching, like you have a partner and you watch them like bring their eyes out from the dark and watch other people shrink and stuff. And you just know because of stuff you put together in your head. And I've never even thought about these questions before, but my answers make sense to me.
Well, you seem to have a lot of ideas. It's been about 6 minutes, somebody just told me.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I was wrong then.
Well, no, really. Do you think you were wrong, or do we have to wait longer?
Well, it's okay. You can turn back on the lights. But I think eventually your eyes will adjust. Like, it might take a couple years, but they will.
Wee. Now what do you see?
Everything.
Did it make you think anything different from what you thought before?
Well, I guess it takes longer than a few minutes, but I do still think that your eyes do adjust.
Though we all